Hello everyone, welcome to another YouTube video. This one is going to be about the top 10 best champions for beginners to play and learn the game on and carry games and ultimately carry solo queue games. So if you're a new player, you're wanting to start to play solo queue, but you're a bit nervous and you think it's a whole new game and you want to simplify your game and learn how to carry, or you just brand new to League of Legends, you've played a few games and you want to find out what champions are easiest. These are, in my opinion, the best champions to carry solo queue, and I'll go through the reasons why. So the way we're going to do this, we're going to go start with top, work our way down, and end up with support. And I'm going to talk about two champions in each role with a special mention for each champion that I think maybe it's a little bit more difficult than, or a different skill set than the original ones I've mentioned, but I think they're still good for new players to learn and you can definitely carry games with. Okay, so let's not waste any time and get into it. So the first one for top, I don't make the rules, but Maokai. Maokai is extremely simple, very tanky. And I think tankiness for new players and giving them that time to react and sort of think, oh, that does damage, or oh, this champion is doing a lot of damage to me, even though maybe it's because I need to build armor, or and have that sort of process, I think is important, which is why as we get further down, there are some issues with new players and certain roles. But Maokai, you can learn to engage, you can sustain, and you can be tanky for your team. Yeah, it's a pretty standard top lane, but also can carry games through good base damage, good engages, and setting up ganks for your jungler in the top side. He has healing in his kit, so if you make a mistake, you can heal back up slowly. He's a tank, so he doesn't take that much damage. So if you mess up, you know why. But also, can do things that new players will enjoy, like split pushing with demolish and getting a big chunk on a tower or getting a plate early, things like this. Now, if this kind of style isn't your cup of tea, I'm going to go with Garen. Garen is a carry split pusher top laner, very simple mechanical champion. You can take ignite, combos are super easy, and it will teach new players how to trade once or twice before going in for that final blow. So I'd recommend taking ignite if you want to learn Garen, and TP if you want to learn Maokai. And the reason for this is ignite just gives Garen that little bit of extra damage whilst they're silenced by your Q and you're spinning on them with your E. Gives you that little bit of damage where it puts them in execute range with your ultimate, because your ultimate does more damage the lower they are. Okay, and then for our special mention, honourable mention, do I actually have to? I have to walk him up. Warick. Warwick's a pretty simple champion, especially in top lane. Has healing on his Q and his auto attacks and his passive, so that if you do take damage, you can heal it back up. You can farm, against maybe more experienced players that are bullying you. If you get ganked, because lower elo players are more likely to get ganked, you can heal back up as well. You can use your ult as an escape, or you can use your ult to go in and kill kill people. It's a different play style, which is why it's a special mention, but I think it's pretty good. You can build tank, you can build bruiser, you can build carry. If there are websites like Lolalytics that go through builds, but a lot of healing on this champion, and overall, I think really strong. Okay, so with that out of the way, let's go over to jungle. And the first one is a Mumu, very similar to Maokai. You can learn to engage, you're tanky, you can build a little bit of damage. That's one thing I didn't mention about Maokai, is if you're doing really well, you can build some damage like a Liandry's Torment, and carry team fights in that way as well. But really simple with your Q, you can start engages, your ultimate is an AoE, so it's pretty hard to miss. This champion doesn't have healing like Maokai, but is naturally quite tanky, has a good jungle clear relatively quickly, doesn't struggle with the multi-mob camps. Overall, a strong choice. The second champion I want to put for jungle is Udyr. Udyr has lots of different ways you can play him, but I'm going to specifically be talking about the Udyr where you go an AP item into full tank. So once again, I'm going to talk about Liandry's here. Udyr is tanky, which once again is good for new players, but also can deal some damage. Your ultimate, your Phoenix, does good magic damage, and if you use it twice, it'll follow enemies. You've got a shield and a heal on your W. You've got an E on your E. There is a stun and movement speed if you need to get away. Its clear is good. It's healthy. It'll teach players about clearing and where you need to be and so on and so forth without having to focus too much on that, because that once again they're learning, or you guys will be learning. Special mention in the jungle. Where is he? Here he is. Oh, he's got his old picture. Volibear. Once again, same reason as these two, but he's a little bit more like Warick in the sense that you build him more bruiser, not tank, but you build him more bruiser. He's a little bit more mechanically a bit different, a bit more intensive, but you can run down champions with your Q for ganks. You've got a shield with your E. Your W will heal if you use it twice on the same champion, and your ultimate makes you big and gives you health, makes you a bit tankier. He's clear and with his passive is pretty simple. I think new players learning the game on this champion would learn a more carry bruiser style right off the get-go, so it is a little bit harder, but once again, a special mention. Mid lane, we're going to go through this super quickly, try not to waste too much time. Annie, mid, really simple. Q is on hit, passive is every 4 spells, you get a stun, you get a shield and a speed boost, and you get a little AoE W and a ultimate that even if you miss, can still deal damage. You get mana back if you kill it with your Q, so you don't have to last hit with your auto attack. This is 101 simple champion. I promise if you're a mid laner and you're beginning to play ranked, or you're beginning to play league and you play this champion, you will climb faster than if a mid laner, your skill level, plays any other mid laner. You will learn the game quicker. Okay, so the next champion I want to say for mid lane, if I can find it, we're looking for S. Rumbles. Oh, she's not here. Well, that changes things. So instead, we'll put Karma. So Karma is a pretty simple mid laner. You can wave clear with your Q. You can shield teammates with your E. You can try and CC people with your W, and your ultimate makes all of these spells a little bit better. So you don't have to panic, and it's also a shorter cooldown, so you don't have to worry about a big ultimate, or worry about clearing waves. You can even ult Q waves if you're in a bad matchup. The champion I did want to say, it's not here, but it's Sarapen. So we'll put Soraka there instead. Not because I want you to play Soraka, just pretend this is Sarapen. If you don't know who Sarapen is, Google search her, Sarapen lol, or go into the client and have a look at her in the shop. But Sarapen has good AoE damage. She's got a nice shield, a simple passive, and a big team fight ultimate. And you can help out your teammates. I think she is pretty easy to play, and for that reason, I think she's good. Now we get into bot lane. Now, one thing we need to remember about bot lane is it's a very skill-intensive role. Now, I'm not saying that all these champions, all these roles are easier. Obviously, you guys know I'm an ADC main, but the point I'm trying to make is that if you make a small mistake on the champions I'm going to mention, you will probably die. Whereas in these other roles, you've got champions with shields and speed boosts and tankiness and healing, and there isn't really much of that going on in the bot lane. But what we can do, if we go down and find the champion, which is just not here again, we'll go Ashe, because I can't find Sivir. Apparently she's just not here. So Ashe, really simple. You can slow enemies for your teammates if you're not confident dealing lots of damage. Her builds are pretty simple and flexible, so as you learn in the game, you're bound to make mistakes with items, but Ashe doesn't mind too much because you can slow. And even if you do terribly in die loads, you can always just fire your ult at an enemy and try and catch them out. If you're in low elo, they're probably not going to be able to dodge it in time. Now, like I did... Oh, we found her. So, the other one is Sivir. Now, Sivir, for the same reason Ashe slows people, Sivir speeds your teammates up, which is good utility, which is always good if you're not super comfortable. Another thing that Sivir is good at, if you're not super comfortable, is just hitting whatever's in front of you instead of target selection. Ooh, like you've got a tank here, but a carry's right next to them, but a bit further back, and you can just throw your Q through the team and press your W and get the bounces off. You have a spell shield that heals you if you block a spell, so that's good. And your passive does give you a little bit of movement speed, as well as your ultimate giving you movement speed. So you're quite safe. In lane, you have good wave clear. You can just farm in bad matchups. You can try and poke and axe. As you're throwing your W, you'll get little chip damage off on the AD carry and the support. So overall, a pretty simple and easy AD carry to play, but still does pretty good damage, especially if you get ahead. Now, the special mention here is Jinx. Now, I didn't want to confuse new players and start talking about mages in the bot lane and utility in the bot lane, so we're going to go with 3 marksmen. Now, feel free to disagree with me in the comments and tell me why, but this is my list and this is my opinion. Jinx has good range. She can farm from a distance. There is the Q management, so you switch from minigun to rockets, which does really mess with new players. But you have long range, W poke, you have E for CC to help your teammates, and you have an ultimate that you can deal damage from long range in a team fight. And you also, let's say you get some chip damage off and you get excited, then as a new player you can run in with extra speed and start dealing a lot of damage. Once again, she can farm from range. Good team fighting. Pretty simple in the fact that she's very auto attack based, and you just want to sit in rockets for the most of the time. That's absolutely fine until you get to Diamond, High Emerald Diamond. I think that you can absolutely get away with that. Even low Master Tier, you can get away. But yeah, so that's that. That's my opinion. Okay, now support. It's going to be a little bit different. 2 very different styles going to be mentioned here. Sorry, let me just drink some water. The first one is going to be Nami. Now, Nami is super simple and very flexible in what she can do. She can heal up your teammate in lane and outside lane with W. So if you're in a bad lane, you can heal it with W. If your teammate takes a bad trade, and Baron's up, you can heal them up with W. E gives them damage, so a little bit less than a Lulu, but not a little bit less than a Lulu, but it gives your teammate agency to go up and hit them with an empowered auto attack 3 times that slows them. Your ultimate's pretty hard to miss and got a lot of range. And your Q you can follow up on your ultimate with. Your Q is quite difficult to hit, but with a few games and some practice, I'm sure you'll slowly get comfortable with it. Nami's passive gives movement speed as well, so that's nice. Overall, pretty flexible champion. Now, a champion that's a little bit less flexible, but still good all the same, is Sona. Yeah, okay, I just wanted to make sure Sarapen wasn't down there. Is Sona. Now, Sona can heal, she can shield, she can deal a little bit of poke, she can power teammates, you can give them movement speed, and you have an AoE stun ultimate that deals a bit of damage. This, once again, is pretty hard to miss. You can build lots of mana regen and healing power so that you can just keep your teammates topped up quite a lot. And there's no skill shots to be missed. Your ultimate is a skill shot, but it's a pretty fat skill shot. So, yeah, pretty simple champion. Definitely would recommend. Now, if you don't like the aesthetic of these two champions and you want to get into support, I'd recommend Nautilus. Now, Nautilus is absolutely different to these two champions, and just from the style alone, you will struggle a little bit more. But still, really, really consistent, really, really good champion, good engaged champion. You can hook enemies in from really far away. You want to take aftershock so that you're tanky, so that when you hit your hook, you're tanky. You got a shield on your W. You got a little bit of damage for a support. It's pretty nice. A little bit of damage. If they don't respect you, you'll deal quite a lot. You've got an on hit. The big thing is you've got an on hit knock up ultimate. So as soon as someone high priority target comes in, you can just press R on them, and it will chase them and hit them eventually, and you can just hook them in. Now I appreciate that I'm probably talking to a different range of players here, and I don't mean to be disrespectful or patronizing by talking about what each spell does, but I am acknowledging the fact that some people watching this video, might not have seen these champions or played these champions very much at all, or at all. But yeah, these are the 10 plus special mentions on my list. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Let me know how you find using these champions if you do take my advice. But yeah, I think if you use these champions in solo queue, you will improve because you're not focusing on mechanics and you're focusing about the game and you're learning and you will just get that trajectory and climb. Going through a little bit of a tier list type at the moment. Going through different tier lists. Let me know what you think. And if you're still here, maybe drop a subscribe. Maybe like the video. But yeah, this is the video. It's very dark. I'm grinding because I'm going to be on holiday for the next few weeks and I want some stuff to upload for you guys whilst I'm on holiday. Thank you always for watching, and I'll see you guys very soon. Peace.